Hello! The AFCON semifinals have just finished up. As always, let's take a look at what I predicted earlier on this week. Starting off with Burkina Faso versus Senegal. I'm gonna say it finishes 2-1 for Senegal. Now taking a look at the other matchup, Cameroon versus Egypt. Egypt came up against two giants. Egypt have been terrific. I think they'll continue that terrific run, but it will be close. I think both of the attacks will do their part, and it will go 1-1, go into extra time, and Egypt winning on penalties yet again, just like against Ivory Coast. Let's freaking go. I saw so many people doubting me, especially after my horrible quarterfinal predictions. Lots of people thought I was going to get this one wrong as well, but no. Success. Mane versus Salah, Senegal versus Egypt is the confirmed final, and both teams fully deserve it. I might have been a bit off on the scoreline, but you know what? Senegal still scored more than 2 goals, and Egypt still won on penalties. Like I said, Cameroon and Burkina Faso still put off a good fight, but once I saw how Abu Bakr was talking about how Salah doesn't really impress him, it gave me even more confidence Egypt will win this. I mean, how many times have we seen in football when opponents talk before a match, things don't go their way? Massive congratulations to both Senegal and Egypt for making it all the way to the final, obviously. But something to consider about Egypt in the final is that they're going to be missing their head coach, who's been sent off in the match against Cameroon. That could potentially be a huge loss for them. Obviously, he's not playing on the pitch, but he's instructed Egypt this whole tournament. How are they going to cope without him against the mighty Senegal? Now, today, as you can tell from the title, obviously, I'm going to be giving you my final predictions, but I'm not alone today. I'm joined with Michael Talks Football. This lad from Finland loves international football just as much as I do, and he's been doing a terrific job covering the entire Africa Cup of Nations tournament. After you finish this video, make sure you go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. But yeah, currently I'm recording this Thursday night. The semifinal matches have just finished. Let's fast forward to Friday morning where Michael and I give out our final prediction thoughts. So Michael, thank you for coming on today. How successful were you in your semifinal predictions?
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I actually got it spot on. I said 1-0 for Senegal. It finished 3-1. And then I said Egypt would win in extra time 2-1, but they won on penalties 1-0. So spot on, got the two teams right in the final. My quarterfinal predictions were exactly like yours. Not good.
The final, Egypt versus Senegal. Now, there's a lot of talking points about this, obviously, and a lot to factor as well. Now, obviously, Senegal, in my opinion, has had an easier road to the final. And Egypt have really been pulling strings, fighting to the end. They're cutting it close nearly every time, but they fought teams like Ivory Coast, Morocco, and the host Cameroon to make it here. So props to Egypt and props to Senegal as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you look like at Senegal, right, they've faced Cape Verde, they faced the runners-up in Equatorial Guinea, and they faced the runners-up in Burkina Faso. And then if you look at Egypt, right, they faced the group winner, Ivory Coast, a group winner in Morocco, and they faced the group winner and the host Cameroon. So everything points towards that Egypt have had a way, way tougher road to this final. And I think most people would agree with that. But also when you look at like the play, right, both teams in the group stage, they were not convincing. Like, if you ask anybody after the group stage, do you think Senegal or Egypt are going to win? They would be like, nope, they're not going to win. But then as, you know, as these tournaments, international football, you just keep getting better and better. You know, it's not about so much performances, like it's excellent all the time, but it's just about getting the results. So, I mean, Egypt have done it the hard way. It's kind of like Croatia in the 2018 World Cup, and you probably know that, like extra time, and then get to the final. And then Senegal, I think they're similar to France, where I don't think France went to extra time in the World Cup in 2018 either. So there's a lot of similarities to the 2018 World Cup final to this AFCON final, which is pretty amazing. So it's just a matter of Egypt. I think they just are mentally just so strong compared to any other team in this AFCON.
Yeah, I had really high hopes for Egypt in the group stage. I predicted that they get first over Nigeria. And then I started to doubt them once I saw how they performed in the group stage. But they clearly built the momentum, and something you got to admire about this team is that they just always fight to the end. Personally, I think that in this final matchup, if it has to go to extra time, Egypt will be the favorites. I think Senegal has to lock it down in those 90 minutes or else they're screwed.
That's exactly what I said. I said if this game ends in 90 minutes, Senegal will win. If this goes past the 90 minutes, it's all Egypt. I just don't see how Senegal can mentally push over Egypt when it goes into extra time and penalties, where I think Egypt are more comfortable in that scenario. They know what they're doing, whereas Senegal, it's going to be a completely new thing to them, and I think they could get very, very nervous. But I just wonder if the fatigue is going to hit Egypt, man. It's a lot of games to play and a lot of minutes heading into Sunday, and you know, Senegal have also had a day more rest, so a lot of factors going into this final.
Now, what are your thoughts? What do you think will happen?
If you don't know, I'm a Liverpool fan, actually, so having my two Liverpool boys in the final, in Sadio Mane and Salah, I'm calling it this match the trilogy. It's the beginning of the trilogy. Why do I say the trilogy? Well, They're going to play in the AFCON final, of course, against each other. And then in March, there's the World Cup qualifiers playoffs for CAF, and they're facing off against each other. What I think will happen in this final, I just think it's Egypt. You know, Carlos Queiroz, I was dissing him a lot throughout this whole tournament with his tactics, so defensive. But he's, you know, proven me wrong. I just think that Egypt have too much. I think they're much more experienced in this scenario. Yes, I know Senegal are a very good team. Like, if you look at the players they have, Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy, Sadio Mane, Ismail Assar, I think is going to be a major difference in this game. If Ismail Assar starts, that could be trouble for Egypt, but I just don't know about his match fitness. So I went with an Egypt win. I think Egypt will win on penalties.
No way.
Yes, I do think so. I think they've done this now 3 times in this tournament. They're going to do it another time.
I was so expecting you to say Senegal, honestly. I also am going to predict that Egypt will take the win. I was expecting we both have different predictions on this, but they just have all the belief in this tournament, and I think that it will go to extra time, and that's when Senegal will start to worry. Like you mentioned, also with some match fitness issues. The one thing to consider, though, about Egypt is that their coach got a red card in the semifinals. Do you think that could possibly make an impact in this final matchup?
I mean, it didn't make a difference in the match against Cameroon, so I don't think it will make a difference in the final either. I mean, they could have the water boy on the sideline, and I think they would still win this game in extra time on penalties. I think they'll be very prepared. You know, Carlos Queiroz is a very good manager. You know, he's managed Iran, he's managed obviously South Africa, Colombia. This guy is an experienced international manager. He knows what to do in these international tournaments. And then if you look at Aliou Cisse, the Senegalese manager, like he has a very good team on his hands, but he has to get it tactically right. And he's up against a tactical genius, I think, in Carlos Queiroz. So it's going to be super fascinating on Sunday. Who is going to take the first battle of this trilogy, Salah or Mane? That's just going to be the big storyline, is Salah versus Mane. I think that will overwrite everything else, where Senegal are going to look for their first ever AFCON. Think about it. Senegal have never won an AFCON, which is just mind-blowing to me still. And then Egypt, who have won it 7 times, the most in Africa. So many cool storylines, but yeah, I don't think the manager on the sideline will make much of a difference, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah, I got to agree with you. I think the script will be there. It will go Egypt's way. I'm going to go for a 0-0 final result, and then Egypt win on penalties, just like how it happened with Ivory Coast and Cameroon. I just see the script being there. But like you mentioned with the trilogy, I think this matchup will definitely, obviously, impact the World Cup qualifiers. And I think that Senegal will definitely be seeking whatever they can to get revenge on Egypt for that. And obviously, they'll want to qualify for the World Cup. And that matchup will definitely be a high stakes. And I could see Senegal potentially making a comeback there and maybe even winning both legs. But for this AFCON in particular, I'm going to give it to Egypt.
I have to agree. Do you know what's funny, actually? Carlos Queiroz, the Egyptian manager, he said that I think this was more of a preparation, this AFCON, for the World Cup qualifiers, because his ultimate goal is to qualify for the World Cup. But all of a sudden now they're in the final, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in March between these two sides as well, when, you know, they play in respective countries. I can't wait. I think this is going to be awesome, this final, to be honest.
Obviously, I still got to do all the predictions for the Africa World Cup qualifiers as well, but I'm waiting for this final to end because I want to see the impact on that. I think it's definitely huge. Michael, thank you for joining this video today. I'm not going to be streaming this matchup. Michael will be, though, so go check out his channel on match day, and I'll leave a link in the description below. Thank you all for making it to the end. Hit that like button if you enjoy. I'll see you all very, very soon.